When describing the ever-changing outlooks of our culture, C.S. Lewis astutely observed that we need books to correct the characteristic mistakes of our own period. C.S. Lewis understood that no worldview is ever comprehensive, nor is any worldview fully correct. Thus, the best thing for society to do to reconcile this worldview gap is to study the worldviews of times gone by. Now, I believe that the characteristic worldview of today is that of relativism. Relativism assumes that absolute truth is unavailable to humans. Humans tried to discover absolute truth during the Enlightenment period, following rationalism and reason, but failed. Thus, postmodern man was left to relativism, the belief that the absolute truth does not exist. Now, there are two major forms of relativism, two paths that relativist thinkers can take. One is the path of nihilism, and this believes that all existence is fundamentally meaningless. The second path is those that are driven to develop their own existence and their own purpose out of their individual existence. Thus, it's called existentialism. I believe that The Lord of the Rings, J.R.R. Tolkien's fantasy epic, is a book that deals with, among other things, the themes of existentialism and nihilism. Take, for example, Boromir of Gondor, a member of the Fellowship of the Ring. Boromir strays down the path of existentialism. He believes that the purposes of the Fellowship are futile and that it will never complete its objectives. Thus, he intends to subvert its goals and use the ring for his own benefit, as a weapon against Sauron. This leads him ultimately to betray the Fellowship and attack Frodo, the ring bearer. It is only at the last second that he is awakened from his disillusions and comes to realize that he must help the Fellowship succeed, and he spends his last breaths defending the Fellowship. So neither nihilism nor existentialism seem to be good paths to choose based on the Lord of the Rings. But there is one path, and that is the path of Frodo and Samwise Gamgee, that seems to be successful. You see, it is Frodo who, bearing the ring, never succumbed to its influences, never tried to use the ring for his own purposes, and never gave up the quest, thanks to the encouragement of Samwise. And because of this, and the revelations of Gandalf to him about his meaning and his purpose, Frodo managed to defeat Sauron and help save Middle-earth. Now, I believe that there is one thing that both forms of relativism do get right, and that is that man alone cannot achieve and cannot discover transcendent truth. But that doesn't mean that absolute truth doesn't exist. In the same way, I believe that the one meaning and purpose that we can be sure of is that is revealed to us by God's Word, the Bible. In fact, I believe that the Bible is the one book that every generation needs if it's going to truly make sense of this world.